Incredible flavours, even better stories. One pour, 10 minutes. Aussie bourbon lovers sharing bourbon with Australia.
I know, it's silent.
You didn't even do it really loudly. It's a screw cap.
I know.
So there's no delightful pop to start tonight's podcast.
No, but Dave's going to tell us what we're drinking tonight.
This is an Evan Williams Bottled-in-Bond. It's the Evan Williams white label, which I was kind of surprised to find in Australia, but it's easy to find in the US. It's like, I think I just heard someone say it's the most popular or most sold
Bottled-in-Bond. Yeah.
Yep. Anyway. Cheers. All right, let's begin with H. Tell me about, what do you know about this one?
Well, I know it's a Bottled-in-Bond, which, don't quiz me on it, but it's got a lot of ones. One distiller, one distillery, and one distilling season. It has to all meet those rules. Bottled-in-Bond has a lot of rules. I don't know if that's all of them.
Has to be exactly 100 proof.
Oh, yes, another number one with 2 zeros. But, it's all 1, 1, 1, 1. That's how I kind of remember it. I know there's more rules, but they're the ones I remember. One distilling season, one distiller, one distillery, and 100 proof.
Okay. You can fact check us on that. One distiller and one distillery sound like the same thing to me, but all right, let's go with it. So, What are you getting on the nose? Let's go with, can I start with, I think this is somewhere between $15 and $30 for a bottle. So this is not an expensive.
No, this is a very affordable, get yourself a nice bottle of whiskey.
Well,
enjoy
get
some
yourself
bourbon.
a bottle of Bottled-in-Bond whiskey, right?
Yeah.
What are you getting?
I'm getting lots of caramel.
Hey?
Yeah.
I'm getting like a nuttiness.
And like a vanilla pod.
I feel like we said this recently, the nuttiness thing, but it's a good bit of wood.
Yeah, there's definitely smoke there.
Okay.
Have a taste, Dave. Tell us what you got.
Oh, that's delightful.
You sound surprised.
It's so cost effective.
When you're like,
that is so much better than I was expecting that to be, actually. Because I've heard people say, this is like such a good go-to, everyone should get a bottle of it.
Yeah. Well,
but look how boring the label is.
Yeah,
you know how I bang on about boring labels.
It's simple. It's affordable.
Oh, my
I don't even know where to put
goodness,
it.
that's tasty.
That is delicious.
That has exactly the right amount of vanilla and caramelly.
Yeah. It's like very desserty. But for an affordable whiskey, that's really good.
Oh, I'm sorry that I'm so surprised. I think this is my first time having this.
And Dave's
It's kind of buttery or something. The mouth feels great.
It's definitely desserty for me. It's got that kind of like, when you're delicious. But I would I'd love to have this in a blind tasting, I reckon. Because I reckon it would really confuse you with
Might throw me, yeah.
With a more expensive one. But, yeah, it'd be interesting to compare them because that is really delicious.
I think I thought I was going to get something pretty rough around the edges because of how cost effective it is.
Well, it's the most sold Bottled-in-Bond, so it's got to be good. That sort of speaks for itself, really.
Could be stated with the price tag. The DSP that's on there is DSP1, DSP-KY1.
But that's for Heaven Hill Distillery.
Correct.
Yeah, which I didn't realise they were DSP1.
Can you remind us what DSP-KY1 means?
It's like what distillery number they are.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was like prohibition and they had to go back and some of them got their original numbers again. Some of them didn't. But like every distillery is registered and they have a number. And so that obviously was the first one.
DSP stands for Distilled Spirits Plant.
Yeah.
KY is the state, and then the number is the national number. I'm fairly sure that's right.
I'm pretty sure.
So DSP KY1 means it's the first distilled spirits plant ever to be given a number.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I know.
This is the stuff that I love, right? The history of...
The random stuff. That's a pretty cool one to have, number one.
Yeah.
And it goes with the theme of tonight, 1111, 100 proof.
Hey, here's another. Look how little I've got left of that. You've poured me almost nothing there. When I first saw you pour it, I was like, it's probably not going to be much good. I'm not too worried about it. But now I think I'll...
You could pour yourself some more.
We're only
Dave.
4 minutes in.
Pour yourself another.
I'm genuinely taken aback by how good that is.
He had all this stuff planned to say, and now he's like gobsmacked at how good it is.
Part of the thing that really throws me on this, so it's a plastic screw cap. It's a kind of screw cap you find at a Coke bottle.
Yeah.
I'm not even being rude. It just is.
No. Well, it doesn't... It doesn't say super fancy, super delicious. It's just
Like, what, on the
super
sticker?
affordable, and it is really delightful.
Yeah, I mean, there's other bourbons I prefer than this.
Is this easy to get in Australia or not?
Well, I think I was surprised that I could get it, so
Probably
maybe
not then.
not. But although I wonder if maybe it's just because I haven't been looking for it, or when I've seen it, I've ignored it. I'd say this is going to be one of these ones where you can get it online pretty easy, but I don't think I think you wouldn't walk into like a normal.
Dance and just pick it up.
I think you wouldn't.
But
I'm happy
so
to be
affordable.
told that
Why
I'm
don't
wrong.
we have
on
it
that.
out here?
Well, I don't know. Do you know what the problem I think it is?
What?
Look how much that looks like a Jim Beam white label.
Yeah, that is true. It's got
That
this,
looks a lot
I really
like
can't
a.
get it into focus.
I mean, just from
there we go.
from a distance, it's the square bottle with the white label on it.
Yeah, and it's got the neck on it that's very similar to the Jim. It does have a very Jim Beam-esque look. Maybe it's
I
just
can't believe how good that tastes. I am so embarrassed that that's on our shelf unopened. This is the first pour we're having out of it.
That's my suggestion for tonight's podcast. And I'm really glad we opened it. I have a sneaking suspicion that it's not going to last that long.
I have a sneaking suspicion
But
we're going to
hey,
get a few more bottles of
The
it.
photo for the thumbnail will be a full bottle, Dave. Well, depending on how much you drink in the next
You're
5
right.
minutes.
No, it'll be a full bottle. You're right.
Do you want me to
Yep.
pour some more?
No. This is great.
So why did they do Bottled-in-Bond, Dave?
Okay.
Do you know any information about that?
Yeah. Have I spoken about this before or not?
I think we've touched on it briefly, but that was a long time ago.
So here's the thing. This is really before they were selling whiskey in the bottles. This is like a lot, we're going way back, probably 18, 50s, 60s, 70s in that kind of spell.
Yeah.
And I need to reread Fred Minnick's book where he talks about this because there's so many more historians who will write well about this. But basically what was happening is you could kind of make whiskey and sell whiskey to anyone and do whatever you want to it. So you
fill
could
it out with whatever you liked.
exactly. So you could kind of put something that was distilled. So like maybe imagine a vodka or something like that. And then you could put anything in it. And the kind of the go-to is tobacco spit. It's the thing that makes it the right colour, which is so gross. But that's something you could do. Yeah, you could put like a tea bag in it to make it that colour. And then you could sell it and no one would necessarily know what was in there because it's being sold in these barrels.
Yep. Yeah.
So you don't know what you're getting. And so what they did is they kind of said a few of them, and there's unfortunately a lot of those distilleries are no longer around.
Yep.
They kind of all went by the wayside. But they kind of went and said, let's go and get a
official signed piece of paper that says do it this way.
It's about getting the legislation through. And so Bottled-in-Bond was the first of these acts, the Bottled-in-Bond Act. And I'm going to get the names of the people wrong, but there were people who were involved with it. I think Colonel H. Taylor was one of the people involved in that. And he was kind of lobbied the government and said, hey, we need to have a way of saying this is an official way of saying this is a real American whiskey. And so this was the first thing. So before, there's the rules about bourbon. Yeah. Before that was instituted this thing of Bottled-in-Bond.
This was before then.
This was
like
early on.
in 1890 something?
Yeah, 1897 they said that this is what they wanted to do. Yep.
Yep.
Exactly. And it had to be at least 4 years as well.
And then so the rules for bourbon came after that.
Bourbon came, I think, quite a fair bit later. I think bourbon seems, I could be wrong about this, but it might be like 1940s or something. I'm going to be wrong about it. It probably wasn't Colonel H. Taylor, by the way.
Any of the stuff we say.
Yeah, but there's some dudes. There were some dudes in America, and they did some good work. But they made the bourbon taste delicious, and dear goodness, we love it. And so Evan Williams, so you can go to the Evan Williams Experience, I think it's called, on the main street in Louisville.
Oh yeah,
and
you can go to Heaven Hill as well.
You can, yeah, that's out in
because that's
near
where they
Bardstown.
make it. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And in fact, I think they've just finished, or not maybe just, but recently finished their kind of new version of their visitor experience. Like, not visitor experience, but like the distillery and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Fun.
Because Heaven Hill make lots of different expressions.
Ones, yeah.
Elijah Craig is one of them.
Yep.
So that's all in that group.
Well, so they
Old
know how to
Fitz.
make good quality, affordable bourbon.
Well, that's kind of why I'm looking at how little I've got left because of how small your pour was. But
I've still got plenty.
That's kind of why I was so pleasantly surprised that this was so good, because they need to have these like tiers of like, what's the good stuff, what's the next best stuff, and then what do we sell at $15 to $30 a bottle, and so you can't expect it to
is this
be no
their
good.
like a super affordable one?
Well, this is one of them. There's also an Evan Williams Black Label, which I'm gonna guess is 80 proof. It's not Bottled-in-Bond,
So
it's
it's
like
less than this?
less proof, yeah.
No, less cost.
I imagine, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know, but but if you walk into a supermarket in the US, I reckon you'll find both a black and a white label Evan Williams.
I'm excited about doing a blind tasting and putting that in.
You're going to throw it in there as a spanner.
Well, not in the next one, because you're going to be looking for
one of these is
You're going to be like, which one is it? I'll have to wait a few. We'll have to have a few. But that's going to... I'd like to just compare it to some of the really more high-end ones, because it really is delicious. But it might just be because it's our first bourbon of the night.
Well, colour me surprised. That was more delightful than I was expecting. If you can find yourself a bottle of that in Australia, this is going to be maybe $70 or something like that, which is well worth the spend in my view.
Yeah, see if you can find it.
Grab a bottle. Yeah. I reckon I got that at Celebrations Bourbon.
Yeah, and enjoy some
have more
caramel,
for
vanilla deliciousness.
Yeah, real good bourbony notes and like a really excellent mouthfeel. Stop laughing at how much I'm enjoying this. Go and get yourself a bottle.
And be surprised.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you're connected with us on TikTok, Instagram and YouTube, and stay connected with us by clicking subscribe on your favourite podcast app.